All right, so today we're going to take a look at Jaire Alexander, the rookie corner from the Green Bay Packers in Week 8 versus the LA Rams. This is one that I kind of had highlighted. I look at these things ahead of time and try and figure out who I might want to take a look at before the week even happens. And I looked at this and I thought, we have Jaire Alexander, you got Josh Jackson, you got Kevin King, Tramon Williams, and like with all the corners that they have in Green Bay, I thought it might be a good group one to do. With that and all the receiving talent that the Rams have. Obviously, Cooper Kupp was out of this one, but so that was kind of what I was looking at coming into it. This ended up just being a great individual game with plenty of information to go on for Jaire Alexander. Jaire Alexander. One of the guys, along with Denzel Ward, that I looked at in this rookie class, coming out that had a really high skill level, very good man coverage skills. So we're going to get a look at that as well as a little bit of zone here in this one. So we'll start off right here. He's at the bottom of the screen. All right. We'll let you watch it right away. He's at the bottom of the screen. You see, this is a cover 2 look, kind of a funky little cover 2 look because they're all tight here. That tight end goes out to the flat. He breaks out into the flat. I just love the demeanor, the finish on it. Not afraid of the big guy. He doesn't just kind of softly pushing him out of bounds. He's not messing around. He's letting him know he's there. All good, all clean. That guy looks like he has a little bit of a problem with it, but that's the kind of hit you want. That's a good hit. That's something that sets the tone for them defensively. So definitely a good look there for him. All right, we'll go a little bit later in the quarter here. All right, again, he's at the bottom. He's always going to be at the bottom in the first and the fourth quarters. So take another look here. All right, he's getting an outcut here. Good hips, staying with it. Like how he brings that offhand. Obviously, he slips there, which hurts him, especially as this guy's going to come back inside. All right, just got to keep his legs, his feet under him a little bit better there, and he'll be good to go on that. But definitely like his feet, like his hips. He's got the skill set that you're looking for from that position. All right. We're going to look at the bottom of the screen again. Okay, so this is a 2-man look. Playing with inside leverage, running with the out. Okay, so he's going to stay inside and really should be staying a little bit more underneath that route generally. All right, but he's going to stay inside of that route. And that's a good job, seeing the cutting right there with him. You're going to see that a lot with him, that he cuts basically the same time as the receivers do. All right, at the bottom here, I'll let you watch it. We'll come back and talk about it. All right, so this is a pretty good one here too. All right, so he's getting pressed vertically. And he gives him a little shake. That receiver gives him a little shake here in the middle of the route, but it doesn't throw him off. He doesn't stop, right? Now, first of all, he's pretty funky here in the back pedal. Kind of high in his back pedal, which generally is going to hurt your transition. He starts to turn. Receiver starts to break. Doesn't really throw him off at all, though. He matches up right back on it. He's got outside leverage on it. He's got deep safety help in the middle there. So definitely like that. That's a good look there from Alexander. All right, we're going to the second quarter. In the second quarter, he's always on the right. So the second quarter, we're always going to see him on the top of the screen. He is pressed up. All right, so I like what he does with his hands. I like what he does with his hips here. All right, so we're going to watch it. We'll slow it down a little bit. Not that much. All right. Ball snapped. He gets his eyes to the receiver. All right. Feet get a little bit wide, but then he gets his inside hand around, which helps him on that transition there. Okay. And he's running right even with that receiver. And generally, you want to be just like a touch behind so you can see his hips, so you don't get him stopping and going beneath you on the routes. All right. But that's a good position he's in right there. Definitely someone we like to see being a little bit nitpicky. Really the most important thing is you don't outrun it. And he's running right even with it. So that's a good look there for him. All right, we're looking up top. Real nice and patient there. Okay, real nice and patient there with the receiver. He's not taking a quick release. He's doing a little foot fire. Alexander is not getting carried away with it. He's not flipping out. He's not turning his hips too fast. Nice and patient. All right. Once again up top. He's a little bit high in his back pedal here. It's a little funky to me. All right. Again, that doesn't seem to be great for him, that back pedal. That just makes it tough to transition, makes it a little bit awkward. But he does kind of break down right there and cuts well with the dig route when the receiver comes into it. All right, a little bit later in the quarter here. Again, up top, he's matched up on Brandon Cooks here. All right, so we'll go back to the beginning. Nice tempo here. All right, Cooks is altering his speed. Right when he picks it up, Alexander picks it up as well. All right, stays with him. Picks up the pace when it needs to be done. All right, and he keeps running, right? He keeps running. He stays with it. He gets in position to make a play on the ball, and he knocks that thing down. That could have been a big-time touchdown for the Rams. All right, and he makes that play there. That's an awesome play. All right, playing loose up top now. All right, so here's what we're talking about with running underneath. And this is not the exact same look, obviously. But look, he's playing loose, and he turns his hips prematurely. His cushion's not gone. He doesn't really need to turn his hips that fast. And it does open up some space there for the receiver. However, he turns around and he breaks on it real quick and gets rid of that space. All right, so he does a good job with that. But, again, just puts himself in a tough spot at the beginning because he turns a bit prematurely on that one. All right, up top. All right, turns and bails out, puts his back on it. All right, the receiver is releasing outside. He turns his own turns towards the quarterback. All right, but because he's leaning on that receiver, putting his back on the receiver, he's aware of where he's at with that. All right. Pressed to the top of the screen. All right, so this is a good look here. He really takes on the block with some strength. We'll see it from the tight here. Takes it on, holds the outside edge, all right, and then gets rid of it, and doesn't quite get in there and get involved, but does get rid of it. He's looking for that ball to cut back out there. Up top once again. Nice little slide to get out, all right, and then matched it up well. Sees the cut on the dig route and breaks right there with it. I'm going to slow this down here. Slides back to give himself some space. Sees the release. Puts the offhand of the receiver to help his hips get around. Sees the receiver turn. Breaks on that dig route and gets his offhand around to make a play on the ball. Take a look at that from the tight as well. Okay, we see the action. All right, now there he comes. His offhand or his outside hand, he's making a play on the ball and look to secure the tackle with the on hand. That's a real good look right there. All right, up top once again. So we see some good patience. Turns, runs with it. Now, here you see where he's starting to get a little bit ahead of the route. All right, and that's where we're running a little bit too much stride for stride, too even with it. Can allow for this to happen. All right, the cutback, here for the comeback route isn't timed that well, so it doesn't take it entirely away. But you get a throw away from that, away from Alexander that gives the receiver a chance at it here. We're going to go into the second half. He's still going to be at the top of the screen here in the third quarter. Again, playing the right cornerback position. Okay. So here he flips his hips open to the inside. All right. Realizes he's made a mistake as that guy cuts back to the outside on him and flips him right back around. So real good hips there. Bring that around. He doesn't have to speed or bicycle turn it all the way around on it like some guys would. That can put you in a bad spot because of what it does with your eyes. It takes you away from that receiver. He doesn't do it. He flips all the way back around, gets that hand right back on him. We see that he does this a lot when he's transitioning with his hands. Okay, so now he's going to open up. Okay, and we'll see here. I'm going to slow it down. He opens up, and now he brings the offhand, the away hand around, really whipping that hand around. That's going to help you bring your hips all the way around too. So that's a good job, and that's something that helps him to have such smooth hips. An interesting look here against the bunch. He just kind of plays off on it, lets it sort out, and then he gets his hand on it. We'll watch right here. Yeah, a little bit of a tug on the jersey there, but what are you going to do? All right. Pops in here, lets it sort out, matches up, makes a play on the ball. Well, that's a good job there. All right, once again up top, playing loose. All right, flips his hips around. Again, he opens up to the inside, realizes that's not where he wants to be with it, and flips his hips back around. Excuse me, the opposite in this case. He opens up to the outside, flips his hips back around, and gets matched up on that. All right, up top once again, we got Brandon Cooks matchup again. He's playing tight here. All right, so Cooks is able to get some separation on this one. Yeah, maybe a little bit of a push off there, but again, I look the other way on a lot of the pass interference stuff. I'm going to look a lot of the other way on some of that receiver stuff too. These are things that happen. You can't really complain about it. People love to say that holding happens on every play. All these sorts of things happen all the time too. So, all right, but Cooks is able to get a little separation here. He breaks it down quickly, but it is a reception. He's not able to make a play on the ball, and that's moving the chains there. So, good job getting that tackle, securing that tackle. I mean, at the end of the day, when you're playing man, you get a tackle and they don't gain another yard. You can survive like that. In man, it's ideally you want to get the deflection, you want to get it knocked down, you don't want the ball caught. But what you can't get beat, and you can't give up yards after the catch. So he doesn't give up yards after the catch here. So it's a situation that you can live with. All right, again up top, this is going to be a cover 2 look. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm on the wrong clip here. All right, here's the cover 2 look. We're going to see him get a jam and then look for a threat in the flat, right? Gets his hands on, gets the jam, sees that route come open. I mean, that's not even really in the flat yet. That's kind of in that curl zone where, really there should be another defender working into that area. But it's been exited with the nickel coming and blitzing here. But he does a good job of seeing that, recognizing it, breaking, going in there, and making a tackle right away on that thing. A good job there. All right, now we're going to go in the fourth quarter. Again, he's the right corner. So now in the fourth quarter, he is going to be on the bottom of your screen. All right, check out how physical he is right here. Boom. Gets a shot at it, stays on that. All right, that's a good job. We'll take a look at it again here. I mean, that's something, especially, when you're playing on the line, you want to be physical with it. You want to use your hands, especially if that's the kind of player you are, especially if you're a bigger player. He's not the biggest, but, if you have this in your game to throw off the release in that way, I mean, look at how he shocks this guy back. Boom. All right. Totally disrupting his release. All right. So great situation to be in there. All right. Throws out the release, but then you have to have the poise. You have to be able to come out of it yourself. So he comes out of it better than the receiver, matches up with that. They had a little separation because that happens when you hit him, but he matches up with it. They run that dig route again, and he's right there on it. That's a good look. All right. So we got a bit of a problem here at the bottom, right? He's getting torched here. All right. And they get pressure, they get on that quarterback. but he is this receiver is running right by him. So that's a problem. He's playing loose. All right. Starts off in the back pedal. Now, when you transition, we got to be going full speed and get up there. That guy's got a couple of steps on him, really, and that's going to be a problem. So, not something we've really seen with him. And the one thing is, a lot of times you can avoid these issues by having a good pass rush, and it pays off for him here. So it doesn't turn into a problem, but definitely something that he's going to see on film and realize he's got to correct. All right. Again, at the bottom here. All right. So they hand off the ball here on the jet. He comes in and makes the tackle. So, as a corner, your primary responsibility is to the pass. And you're not, you're not going to get caught up in the run game too much. But when it has declared itself as a run, when there's no threat that somebody can pick up the ball and throw it, it can set up and throw the ball, or it can be a flea flicker or something like that. You need to come in as the secondary contain player. And here he darts inside, but then he gets right in there on the tackle. All right. So it's okay because it worked. It's okay because he executed it. What you can't have is he goes inside, and now this receiver, if he's not quite quick enough getting by the receiver, and that receiver gets a good block on there, now there's nothing outside there to stop the ball carrier. So it works, so it's good. But it's one of those things. If you're going to do that, you're going to take that shot. You better be right. It's just like going for a pick. In certain situations, you go for the interception. You better be sure. You better make the play because it's a touchdown if you don't. It's the same scenario here. You better be sure going inside, because if he doesn't make this play, the ball carrier hits the edge, and it's going to be going for a long time. And you're hoping that safety is going to make the play there. So good job here on this one. Just something to be aware of, something to think about. It's only good when you make the play. All right, once again here at the bottom. Goff taking his sweet time. All right, so this is an awesome job coming across the field here. He gets right on his hip, follows him across the field, and he's able to make a play on the ball. Boom, right there, avoids the picks, gets his eyes around, makes a great play on the ball. That is an awesome job. All right, this is the last play we'll look at. He's down on the bottom here. All right, so I really like this play. He's real patient about this tackle. I mean, this is not a run play, but it's the same sort of scenario where he's basically the last line of defense. There's nobody outside of him, so sometimes you don't want to rush in for a tackle. Look what the safety does. This safety rushes in. He takes a terrible angle. All right, don't get me wrong. You get there with speed, but he's taking a bad angle. He's not anticipating how fast the Gurley is there, and that puts him in trouble. Now, if Jaire did the same sort of thing and just kind of aggressively went in there and just threw his face at it, Gurley shakes that thing off, and he's running. It's a foot race. It's dependent on the angle with this guy right here. Jaire's patient with it, waits for his opportunity, waits for it to break free, and then gets in there on it. That's a really good job, really good patience and poise there to make the play and make it, in the right way, in a smart way. Don't get me wrong. You want to see aggressive play. You want to see this safety breaking down there. You always want to see that with whether it's in the pass game or the run game like it is here, you always want to see guys aggressively breaking to their fit in the run game or in the check down pass game. But in this scenario, he's outrunning it, taking a poor angle, and it cost him, and it almost cost the team. But Jaire does a good job here as the secondary contained player, realizing that, being real patient with it, and getting in there and saving the tackle. Really at the end of the day, in defensive football, yards don't matter. Yards don't really matter. And right now, there he got a couple of extra yards on a first down run. Who cares? It's keeping him out of the end zone. Points are what matters. Nobody cares about yards. That's not how you win football games. So this is it for this week. We'll get more next week and every week, breaking down a defensive back, looking at some of the good, some of the bad, and some of the top matchups in the league. Got a few that I got my eye on this weekend. We'll see how those games go, who's healthy, and everything that happens, and decide what I'm excited about looking at. But that'll be coming out next week. For all of my content, follow me on Twitter at Coach Minnick. That is in the description below as well. At Coach Minnick. I write for Cincy Jungle, The Grueling Truth, SB Nation, and occasionally some other stuff as well. So, but all my stuff can be found on my Twitter at Coach Minnick. You can also follow me at Coach Minnick on Instagram. So I look forward to checking out this weekend's matchups, and we will see you next time.